Looking at the title Tera Chalawa, Chalawa, it means that dhoka. So, in your story, what it is all about and what is your character?
So my story is called Jalpari, and I play Anjali, who is the story is based out of Bhopal. She is a doctor, a psychologist, and she has been in love with this boy since childhood, and the boy has never reciprocated those feelings to her openly. Although she kind of knows that he does have a soft corner for her, and she's waited and waited and waited, and she's reached a point where she's like, I've had enough. एंड बहुत एक बहुत फेमस कहावत है, जब घी सीधी उंगली से ना निकले तो टेढ़ी करनी पड़ती है। तो अब वो इस सिचुएशन में पहुंच गई है कि अब उसको वो टेढ़ी करनी पड़ रही है। और किस तरीके से वो लड़के का पास्ट एक थोड़ा डार्क पास्ट है जो उसी के अगेंस्ट यूज़ करती है, और किस तरीके से इज शी सक्सेसफुल इन गेटिंग फाइंडिंग लव, do they end up together? She's genuinely in love with the boy, and वो हमेशा उसकी हेल्प करती है। He's a writer who's suffering from a writer's block. She helps him professionally. She helps him personally. But there is a dark side to her, and there's a dark side to the story.
What was the interesting part in the story which you like the most?
I think the most interesting bit was because ये crime thriller है, तो usually क्या होता है, when you even I have done a lot of thrillers, so you start predicting the end or the climax, but in this one whatever I predicted was absolutely not the way this ended. So I was excited about the way this was written. Again, this is the first time that I'm playing a character which is slightly on the grey side, so it was interesting to play a character who could be perceived as bad but to not make her look bad. Like, I don't want you to hate me, but I want you to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. So as an actor, that's a huge challenge. So I don't know if I've been able to do this convincingly or not. Once you watch it, then you'll have to tell me. But I'm quite excited about where this has taken me as an actor.
So, अब तक जिस किसी से भी हमने बात की है, हर किसी ने अपना एक कोई किस्सा शेयर किया है ऑफ स्क्रीन जब शूट के टाइम हुआ था। क्या आप भी कोई किस्सा शेयर करना चाहेंगे?
अरे बहुत है। बेसिकली इस स्टोरी में ना मुझे बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें करनी पड़ी जो मैंने पहले कभी नहीं करी थी। जैसे कि मैं बाइक चला रही हूँ पूरी स्टोरी में। मुझे बाइक चलानी आती नहीं थी, तो मुझे सीखना पड़ा। और मुझे सिर्फ आई थिंक 2 दिन थे मेरे पास सीखने के लिए, एंड मैंने सीखा भी तो मैंने एक डेजर्टेड रोड पे सीखा था। मुझे ये नहीं पता था कि जब मेरे को शूट करना है तो वो मुझे हाईवे पे डाल देंगे, इन द मिडल ऑफ द हाईवे विद ट्रक्स एंड बसेस एंड कार्स, स्कूटर्स। it was crazy. तो you can imagine, अगर आपने नया सीखा है कुछ भी चलाना और आपको सडनली डीप एंड में छोड़ देते हैं तो क्या फटेगी आपकी। I don't know if I can use that word, but edit it, beep it out. But हाँ, तो मेरी बहुत बीप हुई, बिकॉज मुझे लगा था कि चलो साइड वाइड में कहीं पे बोल देंगे चला लो। यहाँ पे तो बीच सड़क पे बोला था चलाने के लिए, और आई हैड टू लुक लाइक एज मैं सालों से चला रही हूँ बाइक, एंड आई हैड टू लुक वेरी कंफर्टेबल एंड वेरी एट ईज। बट डूड, like it was the most petrifying moment of my life, because बहुत सारे shots थे जो हम ड्राइव करते हुए, राइड करते हुए ले रहे थे, और the entire thing, it was also multi camera setup, तो आपको उसका भी ध्यान रखना है कि आप कैमरा भी देख रहे हो। ये आपको you have to make it look like as if it's very natural. And I remember हम एक छोटी सी गली में भोपाल में शूट किया, तो वहाँ पे बहुत छोटी छोटी गलियाँ हैं, तो एक छोटी सी गली में हम लोग शूट कर रहे थे और बहुत लोग थे वहाँ पे। अब ऑब्वियसली अगर आप भोपाल जैसे शहर में आप शूट करोगे तो बहुत सब एक्साइटेड हो जाके शूटिंग देखने आ जाते हैं, उनको नहीं पता कि कैमरा फील्ड क्या है, कैमरा क्या है। तो आई वाज राइडिंग द बाइक, और एक द ड्रोन वाज विद मी, और सडनली इन द मिडल ऑफ इट पुराने एक बुजुर्ग इंसान सडनली डिसाइडेड टू क्रॉस, एंड आई रिमेंबर द ड्रोन वाज राइट हियर एंड इट वुड हैव हिट हिम ऑन हिज हेड, and the camera would have broken, the drone would have broken, and more importantly the man would have gotten injured, because I would have also rammed into him. I don't know how it happened that I braked at the last minute at the right time, and because मैंने ब्रेक लगाया तो ड्रोन ऑब्वियसली उन्होंने रोक दी, क्योंकि वो ड्रोन मुझे फॉलो कर रहा था। जब मैं रुकती तो ड्रोन रुकता, and luckily everything was fine, the man was fine, I was fine, the drone was fine. तो नहीं तो अंकल भी चले होते और मैं भी चली होती और कैमरा भी गया होता। But that happened, and then I had to learn how to smoke a cigarette, because I'm a non-smoker. But Kabir wanted the character to be a smoker. Again, I had to learn. I had to call up my friends who were like, "What? Why do you want to learn how to smoke? People are giving up smoking, and you want to learn how to smoke." I'm like, never mind. So I had to learn that. And I also wanted to make it as authentic as possible because जब non-smokers screen पे smoke करते हैं तो पता चल जाता है कि she doesn't smoke. So I was very careful that I didn't want it to happen like that. And Kabir wanted a BD, not even a cigarette. So I had to learn how to smoke a BD. And then he's made us, क्या होता है कि I think Kabir believes in method, direction also. So there was a scene in which Abbas's character and my character were drinking, and there's a scene that's happening. It's a really long scene. It's like a 5-page scene. And what he did, usually what happens is you probably put Coke or something like that. You don't usually have alcohol. But Kabir decided that he wanted to keep alcohol. So हमने neat rum पिया है through all those takes, and we had to do multiple takes because ये 5 scene का जो scene था वो हमने 1 take में किया है. So you can imagine the number of retakes that must have happened. And by the end of it, I was drunk, but it's one of the best scenes of the series. So the lesson to be learned is to not drink, but sometimes drinking can lead to good performances.
जैसे कि आपने जिक्र किया भोपाल की, क्या लैंग्वेज में भी एनी चेंजेस थे, लाइक भोपाली लैंग्वेज वाज देयर?
नहीं, हमने हिंदी में इंग्लिश रखा है. He didn't want any particular community to be represented or anything of that sort. तो भोपाल का आर्किटेक्चर है, भोपाल का फील है, लेकिन भोपाली नहीं है.
Okay, although in this story, like there are 5 stories, rather than your story, which is your favorite in 4, like 4 में से आपका कोई favorite which you like?
मैंने देखी नहीं है, मैंने पढ़ी है. But on I like all of them. Yeah, I mean they are so different from each. I think that's also a great thing about तेरा छलावा, that सबकी स्टोरियाँ इतनी अलग है एक दूसरे से. Like although they are crime thrill stories, but they're so different from each other that I would have wanted to be part of all of them. Like Gulabo is really interesting. Then Happy Anniversary is really interesting. All of them are really nice.
Is there anything upcoming of yours which is there in the pipeline which you would like to share to the audience?
The one that's coming next is on 22nd July, which is my series with Imtiaz Ali called Dr. Aurora, which is for Sony Live. And yeah, I'm quite excited about that. I won't talk about it right now.
Lastly, what will be your message to all the fans?
So our show called Tera Chalawa, which is out on Hangama Play. It's a crime thriller based series. I'm sure, I can bet you, I guarantee you that once you start watching the first one, you will never be able to predict the ending, and once you start watching it, you would want to watch it